So Yas, prior to Social to Sales, what was going on with you? Because you were already doing extremely well. You had a massive brand, hasn't grown a jot since being with us, but hasn't really needed to for what we've been doing, has it?
Not at all. So basically I felt like I had a really good offer. I had leads coming in left, right and centre, but I had no way of actually getting them to be a client. And each week I felt like I was winging it.
Yeah, and like you were making lots of money online, but what was the difference? What was the thing that you felt like you didn't have? Because from the outside looking in, you had a really popping Instagram page, great brand, and you were making money from online digital products. But what didn't you have?
So before I was doing like online courses, which was completely different. That was just simple sales page flow for me, whereas this was mentoring program, which was completely different world for me.
And why did you want to go into doing that?
More for like reoccurring, regular money.
Yeah.
I was always really good at launches. I'd make six-figure launches, but I didn't have the constant money that I could rely on.
Right, cool. And going from where you were when you started to where you are now, do you want to talk about some of those numbers?
Yeah, massive difference. So I was doing about 20K a month, knowing I could do way more because I had all the leads coming in, but there was no like process for them and I feel like I was losing them everywhere. Now I actually have something that they can go in and do and I don't have to stretch myself so thin every single week to every single client. I've now easily doubled that.
Yeah, and it's been every month, hasn't it? You've really had consistency in that, and going from having one launch that might sell, 6 figures once every 6 months to knowing you have that recurring revenue coming in. I always say to people, unless you have recurring revenue in your business and you have an input that you know is going to lead to that output, unless you know what to focus on, you don't really have a business. You have an amazing hustle that produces cash. For me, looking at you now, you look like a real sophisticated online business owner. Is that how you feel?
100%.
Talk to me about the differences in stress levels, because I can imagine feeling like you have loads of leads there but not knowing really what to do with them is somewhat frantic. Do you feel frantic now?
No, not at all. I've now got systems in place that take care of all that for me. Before everything was on my own, I was a one-man band. You guys came in and taught me all about DM setters, triaging, and that has completely transformed it.
Yeah, so what would you think has been the single highest leverage thing that we've implemented? Could be anything, it could even be the support of having us there, it could be anything that's really helped you get to where you are.
The support of having you there and you helping me get someone to help me with it, in the business.
Bringing in people to do the really important tasks that you can't do everything of, so you can focus on the things that you are going to do best, which is speaking to people when they come to you asking to buy and making the content that's going to make them feel like doing that. Cool. So, I mean, this is a bit of a cringy question, but if people were thinking about or looking at social to sales content and going, seems too good to be true, I'm not really sure if this is for me, what would you say? Because you were skeptical as well when you first came on.
Yeah, do you think? It was big. It was a big investment for me, and I've never invested into any form of help, mentoring, anything ever in my life. But when speaking to you, I don't know, I knew that you were going to help me, and you've always had my best interests throughout working with me.
Yeah, I mean, there are difficult, when you work with a client for a long period of time, as we've been working with Yasmin, there are ups and downs and peaks and troughs, but that's not because our relationship is creating ups and downs and peaks and troughs. That's because business has ups and downs and peaks and troughs. What you want to go through those is partnership where you can trust the other person to have your best interest at heart, because ultimately 3, 4, 5, 6 minds are always going to be better than one, but they have to all be going in the right direction. And I think we've had the level of relationship where you can now trust us to go, we think that you should do this, and I think this is what you should do with your money, I think this is what you should do with your time, and the results are there now for you to trust in us to do that. Yeah, and I think that's priceless, and I think more so than any revenue amount, any amount of followers, any system that you can build, knowing you have experts in your corner, not just paying experts, but having experts in your corner will put you at ease for you to get out your way and make the decisions that you need to make in order to scale. And if I could just comment on Yasmin, she's been just a dream client. And when you become a part of helping somebody go from 20 grand a month to 40 grand a month, you become friends. And people say you're not supposed to have friends in business, but when you're part of making somebody's life better because you've been able to engage in a knowledge transfer and drastically move their business forward, you're undoubtedly just going to end up having a great relationship, aren't you?
Of course.
Me and Yasmin have...
Not going to hate you, am I now?
No, yeah, we've had a really good time. Yasmin's amazing with the team. It's just been a dream situation, and the dream situation only came from Yasmin being the sort of client who was going to put her trust in us. So I can't thank you enough for that.
No, thank you guys, and it's 100% not a scam.
Not a scam.
I repeat,
at all.
Not a
It's
scam.
Not a scam.
I basically saw you guys, clicked on your way of working, saw what you had and felt was really, really professional, and that made me feel like mine's awful. So I knew you would help me get to more professionalised, which I desperately needed to do.
Yeah, for sure. A lot of people, they have what you have. They're in your position where they have the IG page because they were told to focus on content, which you should do, but they're missing that final piece of the puzzle, which really will consistently get deals over the line.
Yeah.
And I think when you came through our funnel, you were a stranger, and then you were inside the funnel, and then you were a client, and then you were getting results, and it was all happening in a matter of weeks. I think that really contextualized for you, okay, this is what things need to look and feel like for me as well.
100%.
Yeah, spot on. Oh my God, that is like being in an oven.